Hello everyone. This is to finalize the lecture on blood. Remember, we're talking about fluid, connective tissue. So the other lecture I left it at lymphocytes, where we said that their lifespan is few days to several years, and under light microscopy they have a round and dense nucleus which has abundant heterochromatin. Usually in lymphocytes, the cytoplasm looks like a narrow rim around the nucleus. The nucleus is large, so it pushes the cytoplasm to the side, so it just appears like a narrow rim that stains pale blue. So under light microscopy, you can't really differentiate between T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. The difference between them are based on what is on the cell membrane, surface of the cell membrane. So, what is the function of lymphocytes? They help in cellular immunity and humoral immunity, and you focus on this more in your physiology. So, B cells usually differentiate into plasma cells, and these plasma cells make antibodies. You've heard of immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin B, immunoglobulin G, and M. So, all those are antibodies that usually help to fight infection. And some B cells eventually become memory cells. They're able to remember which antigen they encountered before and are able to, if the antigen is presented again to them, they're able to recognize it. T lymphocytes, we have two types: cytotoxic T cells. These ones fight against virally infected cells and cancer cells, and T helper cells, which recognize antigen presenting cells. Remember, we said macrophages are antigen presenting cells, so they will get the microbe, put it within the cell, and go and present it to a T helper cell that will destroy the microbe. So this is a lymphocyte. You can see the nucleus is large and pushes the cytoplasm, which now looks pale blue and a narrow rim around the nucleus. Okay, you can appreciate the abundant heterochromatin within the nucleus. Definitely these are red blood cells where the center is clear, but this is the nucleus. And a lymphocyte, large lymphocyte, you can see is bigger than the red blood cell. The monocytes have a lifespan of a few days in blood and several months if they are within the connective tissue. Under light microscopy, they are the largest leukocytes. Their nuclei are usually large and eccentric. The nuclei can be oval or kidney-shaped or horseshoe-shaped. So when you see a large cell with a large nucleus that is kidney-shaped or horseshoe-shaped, that's a monocyte. The cytoplasm is pale and often grayish, and it has granules within it. So a large lymphocyte may resemble a monocyte, but a lymphocyte, usually the nucleus is very dense. Remember, we said the heterochromatin in the nucleus. Now, what are the functions of the monocyte? Monocytes are members of the monocytic phagocytic system. They form, actually, monocytes migrate into tissues and constitute the mononuclear phagocytic system. So we have monocytes in different tissues. So we can ask you list 6 members of the monocytic phagocytic system. So we have tissue macrophages, dust cells, so pulmonary macrophages in the lungs, Kupffer cells in the liver, microglial cells in the brain, and osteoclasts in bone. And these usually mediate inflammatory response. Okay, then name examples of antigen presenting cells. We have like dendritic cells and Langerhans cells. Okay, so this is a monocyte. How do you know it? It's a large cell bigger than the red blood cell, and it has a large nucleus that is horseshoe shaped or kidney shaped. The cytoplasm, usually a monocyte is classified as a granulocyte, but occasionally you may see some granules. Okay? So this is just to show you how blood cells are formed. Initially, you have a pluripotent cell that is able to become anything. This pluripotent has two, it can differentiate either into a lymphoid cell or a myeloid cell. A lymphoid cell will give us the lymphocyte colony forming cell, which will give us a lymphoblast that will differentiate to either B cell or T cell. While the myeloid is multipotent, it can give either a red blood cell to erythrocyte colonies, erythroblast and erythrocyte, or platelet through megakaryocyte, megakaryoblast route, or it can give the white blood cells, the leukocytes. So it could be the granulocytes or the agranulocytes. And under granulocytes, remember, will form our basophils, eosinophils, and neutrophils. So this is how blood cells are formed, from stem cell to progenitor, precursor cells, and mature cells. Reticulocytes are just immature red blood cells. So you tend to see this, of course, it's abnormal. So especially in people who have anemia or hypoxia, low oxygen levels, the bone marrow will be releasing immature red blood cells into the blood. So it's in an abnormal condition. Okay. So let's see whether you've understood. So this is definitely a neutrophil. It's larger than a red blood cell. It is granulated in the cytoplasm and multi-lobed nucleus. This is definitely a lymphocyte, large nucleus that pushes the cytoplasm to form a thin rim around the nucleus. This is definitely a monocyte, a large cell bigger than the red blood cell with a horseshoe-shaped or kidney-shaped nucleus. Definitely an eosinophil. It's bilobed nuclei and it's granulated, and the granules are pink red eosinophilic cytoplasmic granules. Definitely bigger than the red cell. This is definitely a basophil. Okay, you have your bilobed nuclei. You have blue granules within the cytoplasm. The granules obscure the nuclei. You can barely see the nuclei. Then, so this, what do you think this is? It's big. Sort of has a kidney shaped nucleus. Okay, so it's definitely a monocyte. What do you think this is? Okay, it's a big cell bigger than the red cell. It has granules in the cytoplasm. The granules are purple, bluish, and it's bilobed, and the granules are obscuring the nucleus. That's a basophil. Okay. What do you think this is? Larger than the red cell, bilobed nucleus, cytoplasm has reddish pink granules. Definitely an eosinophil. Okay, and look at this, larger than red cell. This is red cell, larger than red cell, granules in the cytoplasm, multi-lobed nucleus. What do you think it is? Neutrophil. And look at this, large nucleus that pushes the cytoplasm to the side to form a thin rim around the nucleus. Apparent heterochromatin in the nucleus, definitely a lymphocyte. So if you saw this in a smear, what do you think is going on here? Okay, this is what we call neutrophilia, abundant neutrophils. So many neutrophils, multi-lobed, multi-lobed, multi-lobed.